You're listening to the voice of IWA Flip here on Interfed Radio. Welcome to Around the United Nations League Trash Talk Edition. With me in studio, Commissioner Scott Anderson. Commissioner, welcome.
Hey, here we are. Half number 2, ready to go. Trash talk. Trash talk in the UNL.
Settled in? Are you settled in now?
I'm pretty settled in.
All right.
I think so.
Oh,
no promises.
Look, this one's gonna flow, man. Because I've been off, and now you can't be out. We gotta bring this together and get this going. Because we got a $4 million winner to talk about, and I wasn't expecting this.
Some other big news, yeah. The Quebec Hitman says that he is planning to, once he reaches the required wins in iCash, he's going to retire. He's going to go to the IWA Hall of Fame.
Now, correct me if
my
I'm
heart
wrong.
skipped a beat.
He already has the money to retire.
He does not, believe it or not. And I think the reason he doesn't is because he spent the maximum amount that he could to drop losses off of his record.
Gotcha.
So I think that's what has prevented him from having over $5 million.
Gotcha. Okay, I knew there was a reason to the okay.
Yeah.
So he's almost there. So, oh man, yeah, it was a shocker.
Both counts, yeah.
But I think the even as equal. Can you say as equal? I would say as equal, especially in this trash talk realm of the IWA, just bringing a story, just like, okay, I just did this phenomenal feat of taking on 32 of some of the best here in the UNL. Came out on top. I'm going to retire, and then he tops that.
Yeah.
By announcing a protege.
Yeah, he's got somebody. He's got training, and he's going to introduce him when he retires.
Dude, so, and then the nut kicker was the confirmation that he's not going to leave until his Dead Rabbit series is over. Right.
So he is going to finish his series against the Dead Rabbit. So I think if I don't want to speak for the Hitman, MRP, but it sounds to me like he wants to confirm that he and the Russian Reaper are the greatest tag team, not only in the UNL today, but in UNL history. And then once he proves that against the Dead Rabbits, then he can retire to the Hall of Fame. But he does say he's going to stay on as manager. Though.
Exactly. Not just to not go retire and go hang out on the beach and be a bum. He's going to come back and be the mouth for the mouth or the manager, the advocate. What? Yeah. Oh, dude. That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Shout out, brother.
As sad as it will be to see him retire, I am already excited about who this new wrestler could be. So we will see.
Oh man, but this next one here, I can't even put it into words. It's so big.
It is.
My goodness, you talk about like setting fire. I mean, oh, dude. I mean, what a series this is gonna. Oh, dude, this match is. Man, I you know what? I think we said it. We're kind of hinted towards it in the commissioners, but yeah. Big ups, brother. Big ups.
when you have a match as big as Texas Hick Rick Rancher versus Aaron McFleece, in the story that they built, you almost wonder how are they going to come out of that. But we'll get to Rick Rancher later. But Aaron McFleece here throws down the gauntlet, in my humble opinion, and give us some facts about Alaska. And the last one basically says that it's named after Aaron McFleece because he's bigger than Texas. So he is not going to be humble in victory.
if you ask me, I think this is like the list that Vladimir Kemp, wrote up. Maybe it's just
Oh,
a
well, maybe he was supposed to find it, and
he forgot the intel. This was
yeah,
the intel he
yeah.
was supposed to research and never got it to Rancher in time.
But it, a couple little quips throughout, but one of which is that although there are 20 recognized official languages in Alaska, Rick Rancher doesn't speak one intelligibly. So, um,
Yeah.
it's just good stuff.
It's golden, yeah. Like I said, just I
It's
can't. I,
it's
I,
one of
I
those things that once you're told or once you read it, you're like, yes, it's so obvious, but it's so genius because nobody else thought of it, right? Everything's bigger in Texas. Don't mess with Texas. Excuse me, Mr. Rancher. Alaska is much bigger than Texas.
now
So
to add. I mean,
kudos.
obviously, to bring it all together. I mean, Aaron won the match. Yes.
He did.
Oh,
So Aaron McFleece, to me, completes his
excuse me,
his
Alaska,
journey of redemption. Oh yes,
Alaska.
correct.
Correction.
Alaska McFleece
My
completes
my apologies.
his
My apologies. My goodness, where's my respect gone?
where's yes where's but those of you who have been around a little while know he lost his riches. He kind of lost his way. He broke away from his best friend, and then he kind of at a crossroads where he said, either I'm going to prove that I belong, that I'm the best, or I need to rethink what I'm doing. And so he picked the biggest dog in the yard, arguably, who is Rick Rancher, and he said,
Bar
I've got
none.
to
Yeah.
beat you. I've got to prove that I'm better than you. So he did that. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes. We'll get to Rick Rancher later. I don't think Rick is quite done with Alaska McFleece.
Oof. Yeah. No.
But in the meantime, we have our ad with our associates.
Woohoo!
106, 107.
Join. Be like Akbar and give us a call. Poison is now officially taking advantage of the associates' help and won himself a match against the World Tag Team Champion. So, be like Akbar is all I can say.
Yes.
Be like.
Clearly, the Ezekiel Crane crew was not expecting Poison to come out and sign those contracts.
Hey, you know what? Whether they were expecting it or not, it worked in Poison's favor, but it doesn't look like Ezekiel Crane is doing too
No,
good,
I don't.
man.
Ezekiel Cranes is having a rough couple weeks
Oh,
altogether.
man,
No
come
doubt about it.
on.
His best laid plans are not coming to fruition.
Or
But,
are they?
Oh,
I mean,
do we think that we're getting him when he's really getting us? Because we think we're getting him, but we're not.
well, I mean, at this point, they're still, world tag team champions. They're,
True.
they have the 6-man, TV tag teams, this cycle, even with Ezekiel's condition. They've just brought two, they got two of the, 2/3 of the shuffle home.
Well, yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
that's an excellent point. Ezekiel Crane, if you listen to our commissioner side, which if you didn't, highly humbly recommend that you do, Ezekiel Crane and Benjamin Felix won the World Tag Shuffle. So they will be challenging for the World Tag titles.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Even, shout out to, Poison for, keeping up with the Joneses and recognizing.
You mean the Bushmasters?
Oh, wait a minute. For keeping up with. I forgot we got the Joneses
We
here.
have Joneses.
We actually have Joneses here. Yeah.
But,
oh, man.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Yeah. Just shout out to, Poison and them signing with the associates and getting one on. They've already gotten one on Ezekiel, so this is the second one they snuck in on him. So
Ain't
I don't
that
know.
the truth?
I don't know. Something's brewing over there on that poison side, I will say.
And it's not the coffee.
No,
Um,
definitely.
Speaking of which, somebody who might be drinking some coffee is Jacob Vandenberg as he sits at a picnic table overlooking the mountains.
Our league champion.
League champion Jacob Vandenberg, also the only two-time international champion.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. I mean, like I said, looks like he had like a little
Oh
bit of
no,
a.
he's not drinking coffee. Do you see what he's drinking here?
What is he sipping on? Da, 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 da. Am I missing it?
It's a world famous drink. There have been 2 matches containing this substance.
Oh, our pink. Our pink.
Pink drink dunk cake match.
His Mike Hard's lemonade. I love it. Yes, yes.
Callback.
Oh, brother. You know what? Maybe he was missing his drink, man. Jeez, but whatever formula he used, he brought it home, brother. Shout out and that Art Deco pep talk,
which apparently wasn't doing much for Jacob because he walks off in the middle of it. Like that's fine. Leave during my speech.
now speaking of callbacks, it kind of brought it back to his days tagging with Verkempt.
Right. Because Jacob just retained the international title against Vladimir.
Nice.
So, yeah. So.
Hey, don't forget to mention TVB, baby.
Of course not. And hopefully, Art Deco just wanted him to try and get a single win, which apparently he did because he's a regional champion. So,
shout out.
He's the champion of Mexico. So
you got it, boss.
Yeah, like I will do that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, always good stuff from Double Dutch.
We got, you know what? No. Art Deco made this one happen. He came around.
Art Deco is a mover and a shaker.
Oh, man.
He has an impeccable sense of style, let me say.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, you know what? We got some flashy dressers here. I was about to put them at the top, but, that purple suit, maybe not with the bloodstains, but...
Maybe not. I thought maybe you were looking at this picture of Rick Rancher, and you thought, man, who dresses nicer than Rick Rancher? That flannel, denim.
Oh man, that guy. You know what? That got
shirt showing off the chest hair.
Yeah.
I mean,
going for that casual.
There's a man you want to take out to dinner.
Casual Friday look.
Casual Friday.
He just likes he likes showing off those guns, brother.
He does. I mean, he's got the guns. But all kidding aside, Rancher is pretty ticked off in this promo. It's right after the match.
Right after what match?
After the match.
I'm kidding.
Alaska McFleece. So he seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he seems like he is pretty upset with Vladimir Verkempt for not coming through with the intel that the vexing one was supposed to get.
Well, you know what? He never got that list. If he would have got that list, then he would have realized how big Alaska was, and he would have, maybe not signed, but never got that info.
Right. So he ends up punching Vladimir in the face and hitting him several times with a chair.
I definitely like Vladimir's no speako. No speako.
Yeah, you're like, bro, we know you do a little. But Rancher here vows that he thinks something's still up. Something doesn't smell right. So, and it's not his clothes. So he's gonna keep digging. He's gonna keep digging on McFleece.
He doesn't have to
shadowy figure.
Uh-oh.
Who is this large shadowy figure? I have a guess. And I don't want to say it on air just in case I'm right. But if you remind me, I'll mention it to you off air who I think the shadowy figure might be. I have a guess, but I don't want to say. In fact, I'm gonna message it to you right now. And then live reaction, you can be like, no, you're a dum-dum. Or you can be like, oh, that's great.
Uh-oh.
So,
It could be.
do
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah.
I think based on what's going on, I think it's
Okay.
a possibility. So we'll see. We'll see if I'm right.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah,
definitely,
that's a
I don't
good.
think that Rick Rancher is done with Aaron McFleece.
No, no, no. But I mean, he's got a, you know, reality's gonna sink in. I mean, I know they teased him for not knowing how to read, but I guarantee you, Rancher's gonna have something to say.
Something to say for sure. I think
Oh,
yeah, haven't seen
oh
the
man.
last of that.
No, nowhere near the end of that one. Um,
Um,
now,
but go ahead.
I mean, are we moving on to this?
The Jake the Snake. I think so.
I mean, the snake versus the dragon is.
I know, which is something that came up on the Facebook page, which I think I have down to talk about later when we talk about Rousseau. But yeah, it didn't occur to me. But the snake versus the dragon, and I'm like,
Now,
it's 1988 again.
now
But I
in
got
a
legitimately excited. So the snake
yeah.
versus the dragon, that is
Now,
a natural feud right there.
but at the same time, I mean, I think we've hinted before that I'd want to see certain managers tangle because of their style and trash talk, because of their competitive spirit within the game itself. And I think we mentioned before, me personally, I mean, you know, the Flying Dragon is up there in my top five in terms of trash talkers. Just people that I know within the games that it's just like what they put down is wow. And then so to start getting something going with him it's tough because they like you said you got to be careful with who you're going to work with. People sometimes are don't want to spread themselves out too thin. But when this
Right.
came about, I was like, oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
If this one takes off,
Yeah, because these two managers can definitely both go. So I am excited.
so I mean, yeah. Well, this was just like a little, all right, here I am type.
Yeah, like a I think it was you that attacked me. I'm calling you out face to face.
Like,
And then
yes,
later we get Philippe's response. And
yeah,
then there
that
was a further response on the Facebook page, which sidebar shout out if you're not on the UNL board, why not? You don't have to be in the UNL to join the board, but you do have to answer the questions. If you don't answer the questions, you are not getting accepted.
answer the
So
questions.
answer the questions, please. It's so simple. Just answer the questions.
Oh,
But one and all are welcome as long as you can be respectful. Everybody's welcome. So,
yeah, and
but
it really is a nice place to keep keep and I don't want to say carry on a full, I mean, obviously I've gotten myself in trouble sometimes with, the Facebook and doing too much or, you know,
what? When did that happen? I don't remember that.
what? No, never.
What?
But, yeah, so try and keep it in the bulletin. Like I said, we do, that's where we want to keep the action. I mean,
Right.
obviously, especially in the UNL. I mean, obviously there's different leagues that have different social media aspects to them.
Right.
So,
Right. Right.
obviously certain
I
leagues, different places to play. So,
I guess I would define it as because I've had various managers ask me like, "Is it okay if I trash talk on the board?" Yeah, definitely, it's okay with me. Um, the way I view it, and this is not a mandate, this is just kind of how I see it. I see the board enhancing what's in the bulletin. If you
yeah.
are only trash talking on the page, or if you're trash talking on the page a lot, that stuff I think should shift into the bulletin, right? We want the bulletin to be where the action is, but then the Facebook page can be a really good supplement, right? And I think that so far we've seen that work very successfully between Jake Sebo and Philippe Rousseau. Um, Kind of their feud starting on the Facebook page, but then they use that to have good trash talk in this bulletin, and now they're already setting up for what's going to happen next cycle. So that to me is a very good use of trash talk on the Facebook page. So
Yes.
just my 2 cents for whatever that's worth.
Oh yeah, no, like I think we've mentioned this a few times where, just staying within the structure of what's in place to play here, and just makes it, like you said, enhances it that much more.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man, now this is one of the ones that you said was signed, sealed, and delivered, right?
Yeah, this best of 5. So Jan Greycrow talks about how he just needs Joe Kona to sign the contract for the best of 5, and I can confirm that best of 5 is happening. It will start next cycle. Or wait. It will start. Yes, it will start next cycle.
Nice.
So in cycle 34.
Oh man. So yeah, so it's here.
Best of 5.
So here we go. Man, those are two good series. Like we mentioned the action here, and stuff like this is just
Well, and what I really like about this feud is that Jan Greycrow. Well, let me back up even further. Joe kind of felt like he was being disrespected, not getting a lot of attention. Jan Greycrow called him out, kind of really
on that same cycle, right? Like that.
Either the same cycle or maybe right after. But laid it on pretty thick, like calling him out, saying, he wasn't as good as he thought he was, and whatnot. And so then Joe Koenig and Tonga Ming came out and brutalized Greycrow and Ezekiel Crane, and I think Solomon Ying came out to try and make the save, and they laid him out too. So now, I mean, that really to me elevated this feud into now these two guys are going to go at it, right? These two guys are going to really get at one another. So I'm excited to see a best of 5. There's not a lot of argument as to who wins if you do a best of 5. In my
right. Yeah, no, I think that's like the best way to go about it. I mean, it really is.
Right. The only thing that's better than a best of 5, a best of 7, which is what we're getting in our tag team. But that's neither here nor there. Who's up next? Unless you had something more to say about our world tag champion Jan Greycrow, who will be challenging for the TV title this cycle also.
Now,
big cycle for Jan Greycrow.
Right. Now, if you allow me to piggyback, I mean, I scrolled down a little bit. That's why I was kind of looking down. But I mean, we got to put these two together, because this is, like I said, I got to talk about Joe Conan's little trash talk, or not trash talk, but the piece that he put in, because just to see the reaction from both players playing into the feud is just like, all right, cool, we're on the playing field now.
We're going now. Yeah, we're cruising now. Yeah,
and he took us to Vegas,
right, which I thought was so cool. Yeah. I love when there's a setting and the setting has purpose, and you tie it all together. And this trash talk does that excellently. So sorry to interrupt. You go ahead. They're in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, so he takes us to Vegas, like you were mentioning. I mean, it leads into just him just throwing, what I call the left and the right and the left. Like, here you go, like just luck. I was like, oh, nice. And then he brings up his credentials.
Right. Yeah. And I'm like, knockout.
Oh. And this is, obviously, Jan Greycrow is still making a name for himself here, and as we just mentioned, just won himself a shot at that international title versus Double Dutch's
well, I don't mean to correct you, but he's going to challenge for the TV title.
Excuse me, for the TV title.
But he is already the world tag champion.
And he's okay, correction. Okay, and he's challenging versus Vladimir?
Correct.
Vladimir, perfect. Yeah, so I mean, so he's working on those credentials, but it's nice to see, the reminder. It's nice to see
that. Excuse me, sir.
Oh man. So yeah, that was awesome. I said, didn't mean to skip around a little bit, but just since we were
Oh, that's
on
okay.
that feud, I wanted to make sure. I said we should have probably done the same for Rancher, but it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, that's
Rancher's
okay.
we Rancher can wait. He's at
Something to
the
remember for next time.
oh yeah. Well, and Rancher can wait. He lost to Alaska, so at this point he's at the back of the bus now.
You're at the back of the line.
Oh man! Now speaking of the line, I love that. I don't make challenges. Whoever comes
Yeah,
out town. Oh
that
man!
was my that was that was my favorite line in my trash talk this cycle was with Valid, where it's like, where do you go from here? He's like, I don't make the challenges, I just knock them down. Oh, brother, yeah.
Yes.
And to me, it was a very Valen thing to say. You know, it's
Yes.
like when he was pursuing the champion, right? That was his singular focus, right? All he wanted to do was be the best. But now he is the champion, so he's waiting for people to come to him now.
Oh.
So he's got Alaska McFleece next, which will be a barn burner, let me tell you.
Yeah. No. I mean, and that's that. Oh yeah. That's a.
But
Damn. You could have ended up with Texas, Rick Rancher, but you got the bigger
not
one.
this time.
You
Yeah.
got the bigger one. Oh man. I can't believe there's a state bigger than Texas. Is Alaska really part of the United States?
I mean, since like what 1948?
I gotta look at that map again. I'm sorry, man.
I'm not so sure. Um,
oh man,
but
that
then
big
the
one.
other thing we see here, though, is Naul calling out the Canadian crippler Antoine Martin for his
Ooh,
recent
ooh,
comments. So, and
yes.
if I may,
Bravo,
Jake
bravo.
and I have talked about this. Shout out to one of my bestest buddies, Jake. But this is a case where, like, you either intentionally or unintentionally call your shot, right? Uh, like he did with Jacob this cycle, challenging for the league. And Naul says, if anybody has earned a Can-Am title series, it's the Native Warrior. And lo and behold, Naul is the next challenger for the Can-Am title.
Nice.
So how Antoine Martin responds to that, I would be very curious to see.
Yeah, wouldn't we all with the way he treats the with the press?
Yeah, he didn't. He was not very happy. No,
Yeah,
not happy this cycle.
I don't think we're gonna hear what he's gonna have to say unless he really wants to say anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now, you know, when you signed your matches here in the UNL, careful what stipulations you put on because
Uh,
it's that kind of a place. That's just the way things roll. And
that's the way things can go.
yeah, well, hey, it's Ezekiel Crane, so that's the way things roll.
Right. Oh, burn! You can't make fun of a guy in a wheelchair.
No, it's a good thing. He
That's the
says
way.
that. That's his own
Mm-hmm.
saying. It's the way we
Sure,
roll.
sure, sure. I'm gonna
Oh,
chalk that up to Timbatsu's TT last cycle too. Yeah, you
oh,
can't. Certain things you just can't say.
oh,
Um,
man, Ezekiel
but
Crane, we love you, but my goodness, man, this mass. I mean, first of all, he gets through, the associate who,
right. I
just
want to know. I want to know why the lights went out. Because that
maybe.
is not to be ignored. Somebody knocked those lights out.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely. I'm telling you, I think it's poison. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a two-man gig. I mean, I don't. The guy's, he's too fit to be Akbar, and unless CC DeVille is hiding that those
Hiding all that hair
Goldilocks.
underneath. Yeah, it's possible. It's
So,
possible.
wow, man. But
But I'm telling you, all the trash talk has been excellent the last few cycles. If you twisted my arm and made me pick one, this is the one that stuck out the most. I in my review as I was prepping for the show, I wrote, "Holy crap, is Crane dead?" So do you want to run down a little bit of what happens here?
I mean, well, I mean, just
If you
I
haven't
mean,
read it yet,
it.
folks, you got to read it.
I mean,
It's brutal.
the detail
Yes.
exactly. Oh man, I mean, if his teeth are still in, I'll be surprised. The chair shot. Oh man, just you know, even the talk. Everyone's like, "What happened?" It's like, you know what? Don't ever, sign. You sign your match. You're gonna get what you got coming.
Yeah.
And
Like,
I think the line that just like was like the holy shit, freaking, my goodness, he's all like, this is the most fun I've had since prom
yeah.
night. I'm like, oh no, oh no,
I
oh,
mean, he like
oh.
the part that really that some you read it and sometimes a trash talk really like makes you feel like you can see it, in your mind clearly. When the mass wrestler superplexes Ezekiel Crane, and it's like, and he just folds up. I'm like, oh, I can see that in my brain. It's so bad. He superplexes a man confined to a wheelchair. And I'm like, this is so wrong. Um,
Now I'm gonna take you back and like I said, if I go too far off, tell me you don't remember and we'll just move on. But
okay.
there was a trash talk in the Living Nightmare League
Yeah.
with like some United Nations or not a like not a United Nations kid like a oh man. Yeah. And I remember you mentioned it, and you were like, "Oh, you only get away with stuff like this in the Living Nightmare League," and I'm like,
Right. Right.
something about he chopped off someone that like not a Girl Scout or Boy Scout or oh, we'll talk
Oh,
off
are you
air.
talking about recently with Wolfman Joe?
Was it recently, or I thought there was one
Well,
back in the day.
there was. I mean, there have been several. The L&L is the L&L is known to do such things.
Well,
There was
this
one recently where Wolfman Joe removed a gentleman's nether regions as a form of birth control. Is that what you're talking about, or are
oh,
you talking about something else?
there was another one. We'll get back to it, but this
Okay.
kind of remind me of like a Living Nightmare League trash talk, man. I was like,
Okay. Yeah.
how
Just
far?
yeah, like brutal.
Like you said, is he still alive? Like, oh man. But yeah, just the way he brought it in, they rolled him up, they prevented anybody from he's just set it up perfectly, brother.
He
I'm
took care of it all. Yeah.
like oh, I feel bad, like, but Ezekiel Crane, that's the sacrifice must be made, so you
That's
know,
what he's willing to do, I guess.
hey, we are all Ezekiel Crane. It continues to grow, and I said right now we're no, it's smooth sailing right now, other than Mr. Crane who has some recovering to do. But
Yeah. Plenty
ah,
of recovery to do.
oh man, so
Um,
oh man, now we go over to my buddies, my pals, my good old friends, Poison, huh?
yes. And I can't. I have to admit, we didn't get into the masked wrestler level of brutality, but we see a bit of a rundown from what happens at the Rumble between Poison and Quick Kill Inc.'s Naul and Valinaria. It turns out they start fighting in the back, and the referee's like, "We got to get this match started. These guys are, they're already fighting. They're fighting on the stage. They're getting bloodied. They're hitting each other with weapons." Um, a referee tries to separate them, and one member of each team like knocks the referee out or like assaults the referee so they can keep fighting. And at that point, the referee knows, enough is enough. We're not going to contain this, and he calls for the bell. So
You know
both
what?
teams got disqualified.
You know what? The more and more that I marinate here in the UNL, I'm starting to see that these Poison guys are everywhere. So now I'm almost convinced they're the fucking masked man, brother. Excuse the language, but
Oh,
my goodness. I mean,
we're live.
I've learned to respect Poison, but good golly
Yes.
gosh.
They golly gosh. They definitely, yeah, they do what they want. They do what they want, and they have their what would you say, their hands in a lot of proverbial cookie jars.
Yeah,
So
man.
yeah.
But don't beat me up again, man. I'm just
No,
stating the
please.
obvious.
Yeah.
I'm just stating the obvious.
Poison's awesome.
They're the best. I
Um,
like how the hair grew back. Hair grew back nice.
right. Hair grew back. Everything's okay. We're okay. So now it seems like Poison, are moving on. Are they? Would you say they're frenemies with the associates?
Well, they're definitely keeping the contract. So at this point,
Right.
they're we're definitely hired, and that's the way contracts work. Hey, you can't you can't be an associate and break contracts. That doesn't work. It just doesn't
They're
work.
right. Even in the criminal world, there are laws.
Yes, sir. I mean,
Right.
yeah, you sign on that dotted line. Hey,
Right.
maybe the associates got to rethink their their contract, but for now, they're going to stick to their contracts. And
Honor in
so,
the underground. I appreciate that.
yes, got to do it.
All
Oh
right.
man, and speaking of the pretty much kings of the underground here, Sir Robert Hughesworth. My goodness, I
Yeah.
mean, these two guys. I mean, this series, like we mentioned earlier, with them and Quick Kill, in honest opinion, like I mean, I honestly think this is going to be the series of the year. I mean,
Yeah.
we've had some great matches, we've had some phenomenal series throughout the year, but like you said, a best of seven, no, nothing tops that.
Best seven's pretty incredible. And for those of you who may not know, depending on how new you are to the UNL, the Dead Rabbits joined late last year, made an instant impact. Bill Cutting won the league title 2 or 3 times within the first 6 cycles. He and McGinn won the tag titles 2 or 3 times in the first 6 cycles. They continue to have success. The Dead Rabbits are probably, they are definitely the ones who would step up to challenge the mantle of best tag team in the UNL that Hitman and Reaper claim to be. So the series is now 1-1. The first match went to Quick Kill Inc. The second match went to the Dead Rabbits.
Ooh.
So now they're 1-1.
As we expected, left, right, left, right.
Right. As you would expect. So we'll see who gets the pivotal match 3 advantage here.
Nice. All right, you movie lined me last time with that. Where's this movie from? I remember
it was from Fight Club.
Fight Club. Yeah,
On a
someone
long
mentioned
enough
it
timeline.
on a long enough timeline. All right, so let's go back to the movies real quick and Bill the Butcher, Walter Monk McGinn.
Yes.
Where are they from?
Oh, this time, I don't. If Walter McGinn's trash, or if
Well,
his
maybe
if they're
not
from a movie, somebody help me out.
not the characters the way they're portrayed in the UNL, but
Yeah.
the names are definitely from a movie.
Oh yeah. The
Okay.
names definitely are. Yeah. I think it's from Gangs of New York.
Yes. Oh, you're good. Oh, you're good.
I do what I can.
Oh, nice.
I
Yeah,
can.
no, I actually just saw it again, and when I heard them, like I'm like, oh, they're from the UNL.
What?
Yeah.
Why is Daniel Day-Lewis stealing from the UNL?
Like, oh, why is he killing poor Walter? Like, no, this is not the way it goes down. In our reality, they both live and they're working great as a tag team.
Yeah, they're an awesome tag team.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, shout out, great stuff there, man. Like I said, I can't wait for that one to continue because yeah, they're both going at each other, and Yeah, that's if you listen to these shows for anything, if you're not following along with that series, look for that one in the bulletins or keep up with that one. That's a
For
good
sure.
one. All righty, man. Now,
So we didn't talk. I think next time, if possible, we should try and combine the feuds trash talk with one another, because here we have Philippe Rousseau, who is responding to Jake the Snake Sabo.
oh yes. I mean, again, I mean both. I mean, in both cases, just with the other one that we did with Joe Kona and Jean Greycrow. I mean, both cases in this situation is just awesome coordination. I mean, whether like I said, I have no insight in terms of if the managers, other than the Facebook stuff that you mentioned earlier. Yeah, it's just it's amazing the way both of them just set it off and
Yeah.
uh
Yeah. So spot on. And Rousseau seems he's basically says, you you brought me up, so now I'm gonna acknowledge that you're talking about me, and if you really think you got something to say, come out and face me. Face me. Well, what would you say? Be face.
yeah,
Oh
face
my
to
goodness,
face.
face to face. I can talk. So that's
and
where they
and but
leave it, right?
and,
The
and
ball is in
both of them
Sabo's court.
but both of them had the same spot on, like, come out and see me face to face.
Right.
Like the other
Right.
one's, thinking he's the attacker, so he's like, I know it was you, come out and see me. So just to see both of them already, like,
Yeah.
all right, this is gonna this is gonna be
So
good.
so the Facebook exclusive, and I don't know if it's going to work its way into the bulletin next time, uh, is Jake the Snake Sabo responds to this and continues his trash talk, makes his way to the ring, basically gets in the face to face in the center of the ring, and he
Nice.
talks about how it's the snake and the dragon, and he asked a very simple question. He said, "Was it you that attacked me a few weeks ago?" And that's where the cliffhanger is. We don't know
Dun
the answer to
dun
that yet. So
dun.
I'm very much looking forward to seeing the answer and the response of what's going to go down between Jake the Snake and the Flying Dragon, Philippe Rousseau.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's just both of them are setting off. I mean, both of those two feuds, like I said, we got a lot brewing, and I mean, we know a lot about what's going on because thankfully the managers allow us into their locker rooms and allow us access to the thoughts in their heads. And what are we gonna do about this Antoine Martin guy, man?
I don't know. He is very upset. What I think happened is he's talking about losing his television title, uh, which he was very proud of in the last trash talk. And what I
Yeah, I
thought
think.
was interesting is that he beat Valen Aria for the TV title, and then Valen Aria beat him for the TV title.
Give me back
Back
my
and
belt.
forth.
Give me
But
back
it's
my
not
belt.
it's not
Oh.
Valen Aria who calls him out because he's a champ. He doesn't call out people. But Naul called him out, and so we'll see how he responds. But yeah, Antoine Martin is very upset here. He says, the ref was against him. His tights were pulled. His hair was pulled. He asked for a timeout, and they wouldn't give it to him.
That was the
Uh,
kicker right there. When I was like,
timeout. Yeah.
that's not fair. Oh, who the hell? Oh man, yeah.
Yeah. I see very like when you watch the old pay-per-views, I guess when I say old, I mean from like late 80s, early 90s. If Mr. Perfect lost, he didn't say, "Oh yeah, he beat me." He's like, "Oh, he pulled my tights, he pulled my hair." The referee was against me. The the bad guy was never beaten fair and square. So that's what I
But
think of with this.
it's the way it is. It's just like,
Right.
dude, Antoine. You know what? Like I said, he you got to watch out for these Antoine Martin characters because they're firecrackers, man. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. But
He's not
I'm
called the crippler for nothing.
oh well, isn't Naul a crippler? himself?
Well, I mean,
Or oh no, that was Valen who was breaking the arms.
yeah, Valen did dislocate an elbow, but as a general call, Naul is not known as a crippler. So
No. It was like I said, it's Valen the one that I remember now. Yeah, that Valen. Yeah,
Valen.
but Naul and Antoine Martin
Yeah.
would be an amazing match right there too. We got to make. I mean, sidebar. Have you ever had a feud with him?
You know, it's funny you would mention that because I have a feeling like they faced each other on pay-per-view.
Ah,
I
but
have
never,
a
but
feeling.
never an official series. Never.
Mm, No, I don't think so. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to pull it up right now. And I feel like, boy, this is an old report. I don't save all my reports. Um, I have. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back even further. I opened up report number 12. So now I'm going to go back. I think it might have been the first pay-per-view. Thank you everyone for your patience and for standing by while I pursue this lead. I
Dun dun
believe
dun.
I believe Valen Arya. No. Okay. I stand corrected. They have, to the best of my knowledge, they have never faced each other on pay-per-view.
Huh. Okay. Yeah.
So
So that's one to build up. Then definitely.
you
Yeah,
got
because
that.
yeah, because those two are good. Like I said, I mean, just seeing that kind of a feud. Yeah, like, especially while we have the presence of the Crippler himself.
Right?
Oh man. Now, speaking of well, the Crippler and the Crippled, he beat Jean Timbatsu. I mean.
He beat Solomon Ying.
Oh, okay. Because I hear
Yeah.
I hear him mention Zhang.
Okay.
This is
Oh, I
Timbatsu.
think he misspelled it. I think he combined two names there. I think that X should be a D.
Ah, yes. Well,
But
it's Timbatsu. He says it a little differently. He has a little
he
bit of a
he did his
slang.
best. Right.
He
Perhaps.
has a little bit.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
But
Jane. Solomon
good.
Jane.
Good. Yes. Um, but what I thought was interesting here is Solomon had kind of called him out for making jokes instead of taking him serious. But then Timbatsu's like, I know which battles are important. You are not important. And I'm like, oh
Oh,
my
oh,
gosh, like
oh, oh.
like
Shots
that's
fired.
yeah,
Shots fired.
that's
Ah,
cold,
ah,
like you are not important. You're the B team. And I'm like, oh
ah.
man.
Timbatsu
Uh,
hasn't been listening. We are all Ezekiel Crane.
but
Get it? My
but he does
goodness.
say, as much as Ezekiel Crane has his problems with the masked wrestler right now, who I'm going to assume is not Timbatsu. Timbatsu says now that he's beaten Solomon,
He
bring
wants
me
Crane.
Crane or I'm going to go get him.
Uh-oh. He
So
better
it
watch
sounds like
out
Ezekiel
because
Crane's got more problems, more money, more problems.
I guess you know what? That's what happens when you get more people into Ezekiel Crane.
That's true. I mean,
Now
being at the top of the mountain isn't easy.
now even though we are on Ezekiel Crane wasn't too happy. And maybe this cost him the match. Because right before
Yeah.
the Escobar match, he got a little upset at Mister Solomon Yang.
Yeah, for losing, right? So yeah, here at the end here we get a little preview, a little information that we didn't maybe have before. But Solomon Ying loses to Timbatsu, and when he comes back through the curtain, Ezekiel Crane is very upset with him for losing, and basically says, "Where's your killer instinct? You embarrassed me." don't even come to ringside.
Oh.
So he tells Solomon Ying not to come to ringside while Thomas Escobar wrestles the Masked Wrestler.
You know what? That's a bad decision, man.
In hindsight, that seems like a pretty big mistake. Yeah. Given how everything went down. But
yeah, I just hope Solomon sticks with Ezekiel Crane, because we're gonna need some help, because
it seems like Solomon Ying was very frustrated with himself. So he seems like he's upset. So we'll see what develops there.
Oh man. Yeah, oh yeah. I felt bad for that wall.
That wall had nothing on Solomon Ying, let me tell you.
Oh man, but yeah, there's a
into summer. Got a lot going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, can we mention the unmentionables? I know we had a little glimpse of Mike Mason. I said shout out.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, definitely. Would like to see Mike Mason and Masanobu. We definitely missed Sugar High and the Joneses this time.
Nice, and shout out right back at them, because I know they were still hot and still active. Maybe I'm not sure if the managers are on the Facebook. Yep. If you want reach out and
kudos to them. When I was talking about the trash talk, they both kind of commented and said that they definitely plan to trash talk this cycle. Life gets in the way sometimes, so definitely sounds like we can look forward to more from both of those groups. So
nice. And as I've been learning, more and more about these, uploads, I actually came across a button that says premiere, so that we can premiere the shows like at a certain time. If there's a preferable time that everybody would want to premiere the show, let us know. Obviously, we obviously gotta work around our schedules. So but if like Saturday or Sunday premiere, or a Monday premiere at such and such time,
I got you.
Like let us know. We'll try and set it up so that we have a premiere where everybody can log on and catch the show, so that can interact. And because a few more people have been trash talking on the YouTube channel, so I kind of want to get a little more involved and respond to some of the trash talk. That responds. I felt bad for one of the managers. He's like, "Yeah, I think I'm the only one trash talking." I'm like, "Oh man, I got to get on there and do a little responding to
yeah." Well, actually, we could close up with that. I'll double check real quick here. Make sure we don't have any hanging chads. Shout out to the 2000 election. Thank you, Florida. So no comments on the YouTube page for the UNL. So
nice.
If you listen to the commissioner side, we got some special deals going on. I will just kind of briefly mention that we have those going. If you're not familiar, hit me up on the Facebook page. Check your bulletin. Should be pretty spectacular for Cycle 34.
Oh yeah, Cycle 34 is definitely gonna. Yeah, if you're in here, that's definitely a booster cycle.
Yeah.
Second year anniversary, UNL. I love it, man. All right, Commissioner, we're gonna go ahead and sign this one off. You've been listening to the UNL's Trash Talk edition of Around the United Nations. As for myself, IWA Flip, Commissioner Anderson, we'll see you guys next time.